All right, so this old computing term, and I think it goes back to the 70s or 80s, something like that, and it's garbage in, garbage out. So the idea being that the quality of what you put into the system, the quality of the programming, the quality of the data you feed it, leads to the quality of the output. So you feed it good data, you really focus on the quality of the program, and the results you get are much better, the quality improves. And it's the same with other systems too, such as your system, your human system. So if you think about the human body, for example, if you feed it crap all day, junk food and just highly processed foods, you don't drink enough water, you don't get enough exercise, then you get problems. So you put garbage in, you get garbage out. You get bad skin, spots, you get weight issues, heart disease, illness. And it's the same with other systems, your mental health. If you focus on negativity all day, focus on what's lacking in your life, on all the negativity around you, on all the kind of anger and upset you see in the world, then that has an input or an influence on how your mental state is. You become just kind of conditioned to all the negativity. You think the world is a horrible, negative place. Garbage in, garbage out. So, you have to look after your body. You have to feed it, nourish it, drink plenty of water, drink fresh fruit and vegetables, get lots of exercise, get lots of sleep. That's really important. Garbage in, garbage out. And it's pretty much true for every system. So look at human society, for example. You put garbage in and you start to see problems. So, for example, if you have bad leadership, if you have focus too much on one area of society, for example, supporting wealthy business owners, but then forget about people who aren't wealthy business owners, then you get problems. And I make a rule never to argue on the internet because it doesn't go anywhere, it's a pointless exercise, and it's just reflecting bad energy backwards and forwards. But we are in a very interesting position at the moment. We're seeing a lot of unrest in America, and it's because there is garbage going into the system. And by garbage I mean 400 years of oppression, 400 years of people being judged and segregated and not given the same opportunities as other people because of the colour of their skin. 400 years of bad leadership, 400 years of negativity and division and hatred. And this represents itself just like when you put bad food into your body and you get an illness, then we start to see symptoms. We're starting to see symptoms. We're having these protests on the fringes of this. There's rioting, there's looting, and it's being met with more negative energy on the other side in the form of riot police, tear gas, people being beaten on the streets. We saw Donald Trump, who I think personally, and I hate to get political, but Donald Trump is also like junk food for society. He's not here to help anyone. He's just like a very toxic thing that is causing more symptoms, more problems. And if that's not what your belief is, I would question you to look at your own prejudices. I try and look at my own prejudices. I'm a white middle-class Englishman, and I have struggled with life in many ways, but I've had it easy. Society is geared up to support people like me. It's made for people like me. So how must people who are not white middle-class men, how are they expected to get on? It's hard enough as it is without society actually being geared up against you in some places. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But I would invite everyone to look at their biases, no matter what the colour of your skin is, what your background is. Just understand that what we're seeing on the streets of America is a symptom. And symptoms are caused by illnesses and by garbage in, garbage out. Okay, so when people are oppressed, they react. The reaction is a symptom of an unfair society. So the idea here, what I'm trying to get across, is that we have to understand that I had this argument on the internet. This wasn't an argument. I posted a comment. Someone said, called the rioters and the looters, thugs. Repeated this kind of negative rhetoric that was coming from the White House. Called them thugs. And I suggested that maybe he was missing 400 years of context here. And someone else piped up and they said, and that justifies rioting and looting, does it? I didn't respond, but that made me think you're missing the whole point of all of this. This is not about the rioting and looting. The rioting and the looting are a symptom. Jiddu Krishnamurti said, what did he say? He said, it's no mark of health to be well adjusted to a sick society. And for too long we're being expected to be well adjusted to this sick society. But then these symptoms arise. And we can either choose to look at the underlying causes, the unfairness, the segregation, the cruelty and the hatred, or we can criticise the symptoms. You don't get rid of your acne by popping the zits. You know what I mean? You don't deal with violence by quashing the protests. You deal with it by attacking the causes, and the causes are unfairness, inequality, an education system that pretty much is geared up for white people and ignores people from other backgrounds. And we need to also start in ourselves. So when we feel ourselves being triggered, feeling these kind of thoughts about other groups, other people, and I do it myself. Here I am. I'm saying bad stuff about Donald Trump, and I really do think that he's the Antichrist. But the very least I can do is try and understand where he's coming from, because he is a symptom as well. He is a symptom of anger from another place. People somewhere else who feel like they've been harmed somehow, or ignored, or whatever it is. We need to start in here. So when we feel ourselves being triggered, we need to say, where is this coming from? Is it true? Look at these protesters. What do they want? It's not, life isn't fair for me either. Well, it's like, this is not about you. This is about something much bigger than you. This is about something that goes back beyond 400 years. And it's about a story of oppression and inequality and greed, and a society that isn't designed for ordinary people, especially ordinary people who don't fit a certain demographic, and things need to change. Let's hope they do change. I'm kind of hopeful and frightened at the same time, but we have to protect our own energy, like I've said before, and try to be better people. Try to recognise our prejudices, our biases, and try to call out those who we think are acting in a prejudiced and biased way, but to do it in a way that is kind and understanding. This whole left-right thing, it just meets in the middle and it implodes. It doesn't go anywhere. It just doesn't do anything constructive. There's no point saying to someone, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. You have to try and understand and listen and communicate. And I'm hoping that I'm going to start listening more now. And I hope you will too, both to what's going on in here and what's going on out there. All right, cheers.